proud are you to be seeing your film have its world premiere here in London?
I'm so proud. This is where it started, you know. It was written here in London in a shed at the bottom of a very rainy garden. So I feel like we've brought it home.
I'm really proud because it's a film I felt very passionately about, and it feels like a special movie to me, and it's come out really well, and you're never quite sure how something's going to turn out, and this has turned out really, really well. It's like it's got some Mary Poppins magic sprinkled over it.
He was ubiquitous in the United States. The impact of just the cartoons alone was something that was part and parcel to the public artistic persona. I mean, it was part of the zeitgeist. When I was growing up, he was on TV every week, and we watched to see what movies he was going to have on, what new thing in Disneyland was going to come out, and we all waited for the moment in our lives when we would finally have parents that would take us to Disneyland, whether it's 400 miles or 3,000 miles. So he was a benevolent spirit equal to the President of the United States or Smokey the Bear or something like that. So the brand that he sold us was a kind, good, benevolent brand that wasn't particularly expensive and and quite frankly, it never disappointed. So there you go.
Imagine you would be in a film about the story of Mary Poppins.
Never in my imagination. No, but it was, on reading the script, it was blatantly obvious. I think from everyone involved, that everyone wanted to be part of it. I don't think many people deliberated whether they wanted to be involved or not. It seemed to be a very quick response time for most of us because the script was just so moving, so sweet.
And it's such an endearing piece of work.
Yeah, it's such a sweet film, I think. I mean, I'm in it, and trust me, I've done some films that I'm like, oh, how do I do press for this one? But this was easy because I really believe in it.
Mary Poppins has all those characters in our childhood, those iconic figures that are about escapism and taking you away from the horrors of your life or whatever's going on in your own world. You can escape to them, and this woman is there to sort of protect you and look after you. So I think that's why she remains iconic and why she's a figure that we all remember. And I just hope this story gives a kind of background to her, really, or background to the woman who wrote Mary Poppins, and so it's a real insight into the film itself.
And much like in some ways the Roald Dahl films, there's more of a, or even the Grimm brothers fairy tales. There's grim happenings in all of those, and it's not that they get watered down. It's just they end up taking a thematic turn towards, I think, perhaps the more palatable and maybe less scary for your average 6-year-old. But it's substantial. I mean, if you go back and read the books, the Julie Andrews Mary Poppins is not the P.L. Travers Mary. And that might be a reason why we love the Julie Andrews so much.
Who did you imagine in your head when you were writing these characters?
Do you know, I didn't actually imagine anybody in my head. Actually, that's not true. Brad Whitford, who plays Don DeGrady, I did imagine him. I really always wanted him to play Don, so I'm thrilled that he did. But everybody else, no, I just imagined them as they were. They were Walt Disney and P.L. Travers to me. And then when Tom and Emma came along, now I can't think of them as anyone but Tom and Emma.
And the same, I guess, for Colin and Ruth.
Yes, Colin and Ruth, exactly the same. Like, they have absolutely embodied those characters for me. And I was a massive fan of Ruth's prior to this as well. So I was very excited when she came on.
Well, I think that he had got to this place where he was living life exactly the way he wanted to, right down to the food that he ate. In the Disney Museum, there is a handwritten menu that was his instructions to the cooks that says, here's the food I'll eat. And he literally said, I'll have these things 3 times a week. I'll have Jell-O as dessert with every meal. I only want one vegetable. I'll have a salad. And I like corn, nothing else. And it's in that Walt Disney handwriting, with the flourishes and the curlicues on it. But it's a man saying, I've worked too hard to eat anything. I only want to eat what I want to like. So he's very headstrong in that way.
Just glad to be part of it. Just, and the responsibility. Emma and Tom do most of the heavy lifting in the film, and I felt like I kind of got in with Ruth Wilson and the kids, and we did a little bit. So I didn't feel the weight of responsibility or the burden of that, but just to be part of this tale, I'm delighted, more than honoured. Yeah.
What's your favourite part of Mary Poppins, Tom?
I would say the chimney sweep dance on the roof, Step in Time. It is so long, and it's brilliant choreography. I didn't know anything about choreography, but all I knew was those guys can dance. And the rhythm of it, the clapping of it, it was like a percussive number that I don't know about chim-chimmery or all that kind of stuff. But man, Step in Time, that was a rocker. I like that.